What's up, everybody? My name is Adam, and in these videos I'm sharing with you guys 20 learnings that I've gained from 20 years in full-time youth ministry. Now today I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. I'm sick, I got a stuffed up nose, headache, that kind of stuff. It's freezing cold outside, and so I'm reporting to you from my basement today. The fact that I'm sick, for whatever reason, it made me think of this idea that I think is essentially one of the key learnings that I've gained from 20 years in full-time youth ministry. Sometimes when you're sick, you just got to keep pressing on and keep doing what you need to do to get accomplished what you need accomplished. Hey guys, have you guys ever been there? Yeah. And so I think that brought this concept to my mind that as youth pastors, our job is very hard. I think some people maybe got into youth ministry thinking, oh, I'm going to hang out with teenagers, I'm going to play games, and it's going to be really fun. I get to go on whitewater rafting trips and go to amusement parks for my job and go to camps. Awesome, you get to do all that. But if you haven't realized it yet, youth ministry as a career is not an easy job. And if we're going to do it in a way that brings the most honor to God, we've got to be ready to give it our whole hearts. Anyways, somehow this whole concept of being sick and working hard has brought this thought to my mind that I've noticed over the years that there's many people who are serving as youth pastors, but they're not actually being the best that they can be. Now, there's a couple reasons that might be happening. Maybe it's because they're not working hard, which we just addressed, or maybe it's because they're not working smart. Now, you've all heard the saying probably, work smarter, not harder. I would like to propose to you that's wrong. What we need to do as youth pastors who are doing something that is so important is that we need to figure out how to work hard and work smart. We can't just do one or the other. God deserves our best, and that means we need to work harder, but also work smarter, because we don't want to just work really hard at something that's ineffective, okay? And we don't want to be lazy, but just, I'm working really smart, and so I can just be a slacker at this. No. I want to give everything I've got, but also do it the smartest I can so it's the most effective it can possibly be, because I want to leverage my life to make the maximum impact for the glory of God, and I'm guessing that you want to do the same thing. So let me encourage you today that we need to figure out how to work hard and work smart so that we can make the biggest difference possible. So a quick question for you when it comes to your youth ministry leadership. Are you working hard? Youth pastor, let me encourage you with something. Don't be afraid to work really hard. And don't be afraid of burnout. I mean, there's so much talk about burnout these days in the church world. Guys, I think people are burning out not because they're working too hard, but because they're working too hard on the wrong things or in the wrong area. They're working on something that's not in their strength zone, and so because it's not in their strength zone, it doesn't bring them life. It doesn't bring them energy. See, when you're working in your strength zone, boom, it's very difficult to get burnt out. So don't be afraid to work hard. If you're not working hard, if you admit it, yeah, I'm kind of being a slacker, let's go, man. This eternity is on the line. This is do not be a slacker. God, in the Bible, has some very, harsh things to say about people who are lazy. If you were being a slacker when it comes to your student ministry, if you were being lazy, God does not like that. Another reason that I think sometimes youth pastors aren't being the best they can be is that maybe they are working hard, and maybe you are working hard, but you're not playing to your strengths. Meaning, you're working really hard on things that you're not that good at. Or you're working really hard on things that are not the most important things. Or you're working really hard on, when you're working hard on the wrong things, you're not going to be the best you can be. Okay, so some of us we don't know, and so we just think, I need to spend 3 hours a day setting up chairs. That's not worth it. Just get your students to help you set up chairs, move chairs, all that kind of stuff. You need to figure out as a youth pastor which things are of the most value to my student ministry, or whatever those things are for you. Maybe it's preaching, maybe it's spending time with students, maybe it's spending time with leaders, maybe it's spending time alone with Jesus. I don't know what it is, but figure out what adds the most value and the most impact to your youth ministry and spend as much time as you possibly can on that. That's called working smarter. And you're like, yeah, there's all these other things that have to be done. Of course there's all these other things that have to be done. There's always a million things that can be done. I've known of many youth pastors, I've done this so many times myself, spent hours and hours and hours and hours on something that I got excited about or that I thought was important, but in the end, it didn't matter at all. It didn't change any student's life. Nobody even barely noticed it. I spent 17 hours designing this cool flyer, but since I'm not a designer, A, it wasn't even that good, and B, I wasted 17 hours on it. Okay, like we do that with so many things as youth pastors, and don't waste your time on things that don't really matter that much. And you need to be wise and discerning about what actually matters. Because yeah, all of it matters, and we want to be excellent in everything we're doing. But we only have a limited amount of time. We got to leverage that time on things that are going to make the maximum impact in our student ministries, and things that are going to make the maximum impact for eternity. Man, I could go on and on with all these details and examples, but let me just ask you this. As a youth pastor, are you working hard and are you working smart? I believe it's imperative that we are doing both at a very high level, that we're working very hard and we're working very smart, that we're leveraging our time, we're leveraging our resources, we're leveraging our leadership teams, we're leveraging everything for the maximum impact for the kingdom of God, you guys. And so a final thing that I think is critical in this is to figure out areas that you're weak in and work to get better. We should always be working to get better at the things that we're weak in, or to empower others in the things that we're weak in. So if you're not awesome, let's say at systems, for example, and what do you do? Well, there's tons of great books on systems. Go find a great book, read the book, and then do what the book says and apply it to your youth ministry. Maybe you're a 3 out of 10 in systems. You read the book, you apply the stuff. Now you went up to a 4 out of 10. Well, here's another idea. What if you find somebody in your church who's like a systems expert guru, and you begin to like hand things to them and empower them to like, hey, I need your help to build systems in our student ministry. Can you help me? And they come in and they do a bunch of stuff, and you submit to like their wisdom in that thing, and all of a sudden now your systems are at like a 7 or an 8, or they used to be at a 3, and you're saving yourself hours and hours of time every week because you began working smarter rather than just working really, really hard on systems that weren't good anyways in the first place. So youth pastors, I believe, spend so much time working on dumb things that don't really matter. We've got to figure out how to leverage our time for the maximum impact, whether that's getting better at something, whether that's delegating something, whether that's empowering somebody else to do something, whether that's figuring out our time management better, figuring out our priorities better. But we've got to figure out how to work hard, and then how to work smart, and then do both of them with all of our hearts, with everything we've got, so that we can make a difference. Yes, we're making a difference, but I don't know about you, but I'm just like, this is just a rant for me. I know I'm just ranting and ranting and ranting. Like, God deserves our best, and our students deserve our best, and the next generation deserves youth pastors who are really smart and who work really hard in order to make a mega difference in our cities for the kingdom and the glory of God, so that students can know Jesus and follow Jesus and walk with Jesus for the rest of their lives. So, how you doing on working hard? Number 1. How you doing on working smart? Number 2. Let's work really, really hard and work really, really smart and make a really, really big impact for the kingdom of God.